Pre-teaching. Definition. Pre-teaching is the teaching of the language learners new difficult words or need prior to a lesson or the subject before an activity or any practice. It is one of the steps in the lesson plan. Is the pre-teaching important? The answer is that it depends on the lesson. It means that teachers can give the students pre-teaching if the lesson has some difficult words, and there is no need to give pre-teaching if it does not have any difficult words in the lesson. Instead of pre-teaching, teachers can give the students brainstorming or something else if they really need some words for the student to practice. In that step, teachers must be aware that English has kinds of words as follows. 1. Common words. The words are used a lot in daily communication. Students can see the words in newspapers, stories, announcements, etc. 2. Rare words. The words are not used very often in daily communication. 3. Technical words. The words are used in any particular field of study. So teachers must select the words properly or must understand that which words that students don't know and they can't do any main activity when they practice. Then pre-teaching is crucial, and some difficult words which do not affect students while they are practicing any new language are not necessary to do pre-teaching. Even though students do not know the meanings of those, they can still solve all the problems. Remember that teachers cannot pre-teach a lot new words in that step. 10 or less than 10 new words are okay, and add a drill after pre-teaching. Methods of pre-teaching. There are 8 effective ways of pre-teaching. Teachers can choose a few appropriate techniques to do pre-teaching in order to attract students or to involve students in learning processes or to avoid boredom in the classroom. Let's take a look at them below. 1. Mime. It means that teachers use miming as a technique. Teachers can act or use their gestures to show a meaning of any new difficult word which being presented. For example, they want to give students a word of walk. They get students to look at them and ask the students a question, "What am I doing?" The students see the teacher's performance and give a word. If they don't get the word they want, they can ask the students, "Can you give me another word?" Or they can say a phrase, "Another word, please." If they can get the words they need, they can repeat the word by themselves for the students to listen but not saying, so that the students hear and understand the words well before pronouncing. Then they can get the students to pronounce or repeat the word by the whole class, a half of the class, groups, or individuals. It depends on teachers' real techniques. After that, they can write the word for the students on the whiteboard. 2. Picture. Using a picture as a technique. Teachers use a picture to show a meaning of the word they wish to get and ask the students a question. For instance, they want to get a word, bus, from the students. So they show the students a picture of a bus and ask a question, "What is this?" Or "What is it?" 3. Synonym. Teachers can ask the students a question to get a word that they need. For example, they want to get a word, happy. They ask the students a question, "What is another word for glad or pleased?" 4. Antonym. Teachers can ask the students a question to get a word that they need. For example, they want to get a word, small. They ask the students a question, "What is the opposite of word, big?" 5. Realia. Teachers can show the students a real thing and ask a question. For instance, they wish to have a word, telephone. They can show the students his telephone and ask a question, "What is this?" Or "What is it, everybody?" 6. Explanation. Sometimes it is very difficult for teachers to find a proper technique for the word they need. So they can use an explanation technique. For example, they need a word, punctual, and they explain a situation to the students such as, "I am not early for the class and I am not late for the class, too," and then they ask a question, "What is a word for that?" 7. Example. Teachers give an example and ask the students a question, for instance, an apple, an orange, a mango, and a pineapple. What are they, everybody? 8. Translation. This is the last technique for teachers. From technique 1 to 7, they can't find any appropriate one to apply. They can use it. This technique needs to translate a word needed into the student's native language, and teachers can use that in a question. For example, They want a word tier as a noun. They ask a question, what is tokfnake in English? Note, a way teachers can get the students to repeat the word or they write it on the whiteboard is the same as in the technique one above. Moreover, a question is very important for all of the techniques. If teachers ask a wrong question or it is an unclear one, they will not get the word that they want at all. So they need to think of a question seriously before asking the students. In addition to that, teachers must add drilling after pre-teaching.